morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Kurt Moody. I'm the Director of Professional Education here at J&J Vision, and really just a very, very, very proud co-sponsor for today's presentation. As you've already known, it's us and PECA that's working closely with Eyes on Eye Care to deliver you, hopefully, some really good information. I'm going to go over what we're doing here at J&J in regards to innovation and advocacy. And then my co-speakers, Dr. Lyndon Jones, will be talking about myths and misconceptions. And then a representative from PECA, Brian, will come on and give you some great information for those of you that are maybe thinking about purchasing a new practice, going in as an associate. So I think a plethora of great information today. So as I mentioned, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about innovation and advocacy, some of the things that are really near and dear to our heart here at J&J. To talk about that a little bit, though, just let you know that the mantra of what we do day in and day out here at J&J is in regards to this partnership. The idea that we really want and value that partnership between us, an industry leader, and you, that eye care practitioner. Without a doubt, we could not do our job without you. And that really goes to the heart of what we're talking about, and it's that partnership. So when we think about partnership, we're really thinking about it in regards to these three pillars. On your left, what we're calling professional leadership, and that's really all of the activities that we're doing in regards to advocating for our profession. So prior to joining J&J, I was in practice for 22 years doing very much similar activities that you are doing in your practices. So absolutely understand what's important for you. The fact that this profession that we have invested so much of our life in is the heart and blood of what we're doing. And here at J&J, we believe the same, and we want to make sure we're your partner in making sure that that advocacy is always top of mind. Second pillar, our products. Without a doubt, we believe that our products are second to none. And I think the fact that when you look at a place like the US, for example, where we've got 42% market share, I think the vast majority of optometrists and patients feel the same. So we're always striving to make sure we're bringing you the best and most important products that are really kind of hitting home with your patients, filling in those niches, those areas where your patient needs that second to none performance, whether it be vision, comfort, or safety. And then finally, here on our right, practice solutions. To be honest with you, things that exactly like we're doing today, creating these sponsorships so that we can bring you CE at either a very affordable or even, as we're doing today, at a free price. In addition to things like these programs, we also have other products that are out there that will help accelerate the growth of your practice, help you be more efficient, more effective in what you're doing day to day. So over the next 20 minutes or so, I'm actually going to go through each of these pillars and just give you some top of the line information on what we're doing so that you have a pretty good idea of where J&J falls within these three areas. So let's start in regards to advocacy. So when we talk about advocacy, really there's these four big buckets of what we're working on day in and day out. And when I say we're working on this day in and day out, we actually have a dedicated team of folks who are doing this, led right now by Dr. Carol Alexander, who many of you probably know very, very well. She has been doing this job, for a good number of years and does a fantastic job of, again, making sure that what we're doing is best for our profession. And you see right at the top, ensuring that doctors remain the center of patient care. Without a doubt, our firm belief is that eye care cannot be done effectively, efficiently, and best for the patient unless that doctor is at the center of what's being done. As many of you know, there's a big push and need for education and information and products in regards to myopia management. And again, we're doing an awful lot in regards to advocacy to make sure that that word and that information about this myopic epidemic is brought out, especially to our legislators, to the folks who are making decisions, so they understand the importance of this. Speaking of those legislators, We continue to work with government agencies that have an impact on our profession. Groups like the FDA, the FTC, the CDC, just to name a few. And there's a whole heck of a lot other ones that are out there. We're consistently and constantly working with the different state associations to see how we can partner with them. Again, making sure that optometry is at the top of everything that we're doing. Engaging with those members of Congress. Day in and day out, there's bills that are either going to help promote our profession or have the potential to have a negative impact in our profession. And I just want you all to know that we are that advocate for you. We're there working to make sure that optometry is being viewed in the right vein. Specifically, the things that we're really working on day in and day out right now are these three big areas. First of all, that contact lens prescription verification, the Modernization Act. We've all felt kind of the aches and pains of this, that phone call that you get late on a Friday night to verify a prescription and letting you know that you have 2 hours to verify it. It's not safe for the patient. It's not right for the practice of optometry. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that that bill is set up so that it really does have the patient and the doctor at the center of what's being done. Telehealth, hey, let's face it, it's happening. And there's no way we could drag our feet and say it's not going to occur. It's either going to occur with optometry being a big part of it, or it could be done without us not being a big part of it. So here at J&J, we want to make sure that we help shape this so that it's best for the patient, it's best for the doctor. Optometry has to be involved, has to be a big player in it. We want to make sure that we're going to help shape that. I've mentioned a few times already in regards to myopia awareness, and realize that we are taking a big stance in regards to what's happening within that specific area. So hopefully, you get the feeling that what we're doing here at J&J, I believe, is second to none. So when it comes to advocacy, I really do believe that we are the leaders within the industry partners, helping make sure that optometry is being viewed in the right light. So, talked a little bit about advocacy, and now let's just take the next step and let's talk a little bit about innovation. And the way I've set this talk up is, we're going to start at kind of the beginning stage. We're going to start with the kids and we're going to work our way up to the adults. So let's talk a little bit about myopia. What is J&J doing in regards to that myopia innovation? And it really comes down, I would say, to these big buckets here. First and foremost, I think there's continues to be a gap in regards to the research, the knowledge, what's causing this. As we've seen the data, we are seeing big surges in the number of kids who are myopic, but we still need to know more. What's causing that surge? What are those factors that could either help shield you from advancing myopia? And at the same token, we need to know what are those factors that are precipitating it and causing it to occur. So we've made a huge financial investment in Singapore to understand a little bit more. And why Singapore? Singapore, as many of you may know, probably about 85% of their citizens, of their young adults, are myopic. So that this is really the epicenter that we're seeing in this big surge, the tsunami in regards to myopia. So that's why it's so important to make sure that that's where we're studying it. Also, some of the top scientists and researchers in the world are in Singapore. So that's why we decided to make that financial and, to be honest with you, even people resource in Singapore. So our hope is that we're going to know more, and therefore we'll be able to attack this even better. Working with those thought leaders in regards to, again, shaping how these modalities are brought to the market is a big part of what we're doing, increasing that awareness, as I've already mentioned. And when we talk about increasing the awareness, it's to a number of groups. It's to those legislators, yes, but it's also to the parents, and it's to the patients, and it's to the doctors. So you see, we're doing an awful lot within this space because we definitely see that we're investing in our future. When we talk about specifically what products you're going to be seeing, it breaks down into these bigger groups here. Right off the bat, it's the products itself. So we believe it's a suite of therapeutic products. We don't believe it's going to be one product fits all. So we do believe that it's going to be a suite of products, and we're working on that suite of physical products, but it's also going to be some digital products because we are going to need those assets to be able to measure where we're going and to be able to use that information to make sure that we're communicating it well to parents and to patients. The next is going to be in regards to education. So educating the parents, as I mentioned, educating the patients, but also educating us. It's an absolutely new area. So for so many of us, we do need to be able to know what's going on, what's occurring out there in the market, how do we use these products? And finally, and we believe this is a big leg of what we're doing here too, it's the giving back. So for every annual supply of an Ability product, and Ability is that commercial brand that we're putting this under, for every annual supply, we are going to be providing a comprehensive eye exam for a patient in need, for a child in need, and we'll be doing that through Sight for Kids. Now, as a reminder also, if during my talk and also my co-presenters, you've got that chat box. So if there's any questions you'd like me to dig into, we're going to reserve a few minutes here at the end that we could address those. So make sure you type into that chat box any question that you might want me to address towards the end. All right. So I mentioned that suite of products. The very first one that's on the market here in the United States is our Ability Overnight design lens. And here's a little glimpse of what that is. So it is an Ortho-K product, and we partnered with that world leader Menicon on this product. You see the parameters, 3 different diameters, a multitude of base curves as you would expect with this type of a product. It's using that Menicon material, the Menicon Z material, which is a phenomenal material. And at the top, you see what our FDA approval was. It's for myopia management, up to 4 diopters of myopia and up to 1.5 diopters of astigmatism. What's unique about this approach, though, is it's not the type of Ortho-K that I used when I was in practice. It's kind of putting a little bit of a spin on it, and it's the ability, I think, so that we could have more optometrists have the ability to bring this into their practice. So if you'd like to hear more, Dr. Chandra Mickles, who runs our professional education for myopia, is doing a number of these programs. Attend one of her programs, learn more, see when it's available within your area, because we are taking some baby steps of bringing this out, because brand new. We want to make sure we're doing it the right way. But definitely, if you have interest, I would definitely strongly suggest you go to one of Dr. Mickles' education symposium and learn more. Exciting area and definitely something new in optometry. And it's great that we're really making a big change out there in regards to these young kids. So let's make a little bit of a change now, and let's talk about the old kids. Hey, I'm included in there, so you could end up saying that. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about myopia, multifocal innovation. So why is this important? And I think this slide really depicts it quite well. Because if we were to look at that typical optometric practice, about 40% of those patients that are contact lens wearers, 40%, pretty big area, are currently presbyopic. When we go out and we interview those folks, we find out 94% of them hope, anticipate, expect to still be wearing lenses into their 6th decade of life. So, it's the perfect business situation for us as an optometrist. We've got a large group of patients. They want to stay in contact lenses. What's the uncomfortable truth? It's that bubble here on the right. 1 out of every 2 of those patients within the next 2 years will drop out of contact lenses. Why? Well, one of my co-presenters, Dr. Lyndon Jones, did some great work up at the University of Waterloo to understand contact lens dropout. Before you're presbyopic, it's dryness, it's discomfort. When you become presbyopic, it's dryness, discomfort, and vision. So those are the 3 top reasons our patients are dropping out. 1 out of every 2 of your presbyopic patients will drop out of contact lenses within the next 2 years. So it's taking that 40% of your wearer base and it's cutting it down to 20%. I mean, that has a huge financial impact. We want to make sure we avoid that. How do we avoid that? We believe that we have the solution for you, and that is with our pupil optimized design lenses. So back in 2015, we brought out our Moist multifocal, which uses this pupil optimized design. And about a year ago, we brought to market our AccuView Oasis 2-week multifocal, again, with that pupil optimized design. And that's the one I'm going to specifically address a little bit here today, because without a doubt, I believe that this AccuView Oasis 2-week multifocal is attacking those 3 reasons for dropout: dryness, discomfort, and vision. The 3 unique innovative technologies, that pupil optimized design, a unique design, which we'll speak about in just a second, that's really providing crisp, clear vision, distance, intermediate, and near. We've changed the back curve on the lens in such a way that we've got this hybrid back curve. So that's driving the optics over the optical center of the cornea. So we're getting that precise fit. And then finally, that Oasis material. You know, there's been 28 clinical studies that have been registered on clinicaltrials.gov. And out of those 28 clinical studies, they included an endpoint of comfort in soft contact lenses. And that included also the AccuView Oasis material. So if you were to go and if you were to look at those studies, 12 of which are J&J sponsored studies, the rest have been done by competitors, the lens, the material has never been beaten in regards to comfort. So attacking comfort, attacking vision, attacking dryness, you're getting all of that with this particular product. But we've got a video, I think, that summarizes it even better than what I'm including here and talking about in these 3 unique technologies. I'd like to play that video now.
Finding a multifocal lens that provides consistent success across patients, no matter their age or refraction, can be a challenge. Introducing AccuView multifocal contact lenses with pupil-optimized design, a fusion of 3 unique technologies designed to deliver consistent performance and comfort, regardless of age or refractive error. We start with a unique optical profile designed to achieve an extended depth of focus to provide crisp, clear vision near, far, and in between. However, the effectiveness of some multifocals is reduced when pupil size and optical profile are mismatched. A larger pupil size may result in poor near vision. A smaller pupil size may lead to poor far vision. AccuView understands pupil size changes not only by age, but by up to 24% by refraction alone. So while the leading competitor stops at providing only 3 optical profile sizes, giving less than 2% of parameters optimized, AccuView optimizes 100% of all power profiles by both age and refraction. Infused with a proprietary wetting agent for exceptional all-day comfort and a unique hybrid back curve to help ensure that optimized optics stay centered over the pupil, AccuView has created lenses designed for consistent performance and comfort, regardless of age or refractive error, that you can fit in 3 easy steps. Automatically getting the best optical profile for your patient's most likely pupil size.
Great. I think you might agree with me. I think the video was well done. I think it brings up about, you know, what the particular product is doing quite well. In the center of really what we've got here, the secret sauce is that pupil optimized design. You know, when you think about multifocal optics, you know, there's really been no great innovation over the last 22 years, with the exception of what we've got here in that pupil optimized design. It's the only patent that's been filed within the past 22 years in regards to an optical approach when it comes to what we've got here with multifocality. You know, we end up getting about 97% success with our Oasis 2-week multifocal with 2 sets of lenses or less. And it's based upon, of course, following that fit system. Those 3 easy steps that you saw in that little video, quick and easy to do, is what's driving that success along with this design. So as the video depicted, what's unique about this pupil optimized design is the fact that we're semi-customizing, where we're varying the pupil, the power profile based upon the natural variation of what occurs to the pupil in regards to age and refractive error. And that's what we're depicting here on that top. Every lens in your trial lens set, there's 183 of those. We go from a +6 to a -9 in quarter diopter steps. That's 61 times 3 ads, gets us that 183. Each has a unique power profile that's based on that natural variation of the pupil. And now what do competitor lenses do? As I'm showing on the bottom, they'll have one power profile per ad. So they'll have 3 power profiles. So 183 in our system versus 3 with the competitors. So why would that make a difference? Well, I think this little animation will show exactly why that makes a difference. What we're going to show is a distance image, an intermediate, and a near. And when you marry the power profile with the pupil, everything's clear. Now, what happens in the myopes who have a bigger pupil than the power profile in a center near approach? You see the hit. The hit is in regards to near. So what do we do as an optometrist? We've got to use that fudge factor to try to alter the prescription to try to bring the vision in. But when you marry the power profile to the pupil, everything's clear. Now, what happens to the hyperope? Pupil smaller now than the optic design. You see what happens. You get the hit in regards to the distance vision. That's why that +4 at the corneal plane, you end up giving a +350. And that's what we don't want you to do. That's why for every single trial lens that you've got, we've married it with the pupil, and the end result should be consistent vision as we're showing right now. We really do not want you to have to do that fudge factor. We want fitting multifocal lenses to be a science. We don't want it to have to be an art. We want you to come across as that scientist so that when you measure a +350 or you measure a -650 at the corneal plane, that's the product you're giving, no fudge factors. So what I'd like to talk to you about finally in the last minute or two that I have here with you are those practice solutions. As I mentioned, what we're doing right now is one of those practice solutions. So, we worked tirelessly with Eyes on Eye Care to put together this program to provide you with some information that I'm giving you right now. And even more importantly to you, giving you some free CE so that you could up your game with your patients. So that just happens to be one of those practice solutions. But, in reality, we've got a number of them. We have our Lens Assist. Lens Assist is a product that's on our jnjvisionpro.com site that you can go, and that assists your patients. So when you fit them with contact lenses, they go home. It's almost that virtual assistant. If you enroll them in Lens Assist, they get information, they get videos, they get little tools to try to make them more effective at contact lens insertion and removal. In addition to Lens Assist, we also have our AccuView Find an Eye Doctor. And that's really what I'm showing you here. So how does Find an Eye Doctor work? You go on the J&J Vision Pro site, register there, and register yourself for your practice on the Find an Eye Doctor site. What this enables is when a patient goes on the web and they maybe Google something about eye care, maybe they Google contact lenses, maybe they Google multifocal contact lenses. That little Google search will help direct them to go to the AccuView.com site. So that's the consumer website. So on AccuView.com, that consumer could look at different types of AccuView products. So let's just say they do select multifocal contact lenses. They want to read more about it. They then see that they can go to the Find an Eye Doctor site within that Vision Care site, and they click on that. And what it will show is what we're showing a little bit here on the left. So there's a screenshot on a phone showing such a patient looking for an eye doctor within their geography. And if you've registered on our Find an Eye Doctor site, it's going to target your practice information, and it's the way the patient could then find you. So basically, it's just another marketing asset. Later on, Brian's going to talk to you about some of these marketing assets. Here's an absolute free one that we're bringing to you. Are patients actually doing this? Well, within the last year, we had more than 4 million unique views on our AccuView.com site. Out of those, greater than 140,000 patients ended up using the Find an Eye Doctor to actually make an appointment with an optometrist. So absolutely, this is one of those tools that's driving patients into your practice. And that's what you want to do. You want to become you're going to be able to do your job, be a good, effective optometrist, provide great eye care, but you need the patients coming in the door. And this is just one of those products that we're bringing to you that will bring those patients into your door. So I know for many of us, it's early in the morning, it's a weekend. I hope it's a good weekend for you all. Enjoy the rest of today's presentation because I think you're going to get some great information. Dr. Jones has a great presentation. I watched it last night and just phenomenal on those myths and misconceptions. Brian's going to give you some great tips on what to do if you're thinking about becoming an associate, maybe being a cold start, maybe buying out a doctor. So I think some great opportunities there. Looks like we do have a few questions that came in on the chat, and definitely would encourage you to type some in if you'd like. When would you recommend moist versus oasis for a patient? Yeah, absolutely great call out. And you're going to hear a little bit from Dr. Jones, the fact that is definitely a time and a place for a hydrogel. So this is really where it comes down to you, I would tell you, being a great clinician, looking at making that differential diagnosis based on what you're seeing with your particular patient. So I think the moist lens is an absolute great lens, especially for those patients who may have had a past history with some red eyes, some infections. Again, if you look at some of the literature out there, the fact that moist lens absorbs a huge amount of lysozyme, a natural protectant within our tear film, that Edafilcon material has been proven to be very effective in that. So personally, when I get a patient, especially if it's a younger patient, maybe a little riskier lifestyle, a lot of times it's those young males, right? They are great moist candidates. A lot of times also I'm looking at just how stable that tear film is. So if I've got to make a differential diagnosis between putting them into a hydrogel versus a silicone hydrogel, those folks whose tear film is breaking down a little quicker, probably going to go with the silicone hydrogel. But again, that's where you as that clinician has to make that determination. Look at the size of the tear meniscus height. Look at the non-invasive tear breakup time and make that determination if they should be a hydrogel patient or a silicone hydrogel patient. What does it mean to be an AccuView multifocal expert? So if you do go on that J&J Vision Care site, you'll see within the multifocal with the presbyopia area, you could take an assessment. It's a 16-question test. And the easiest way to do this is download our digital calculator, because what we've put on that site are 16 real-world case histories, and we ask you to select the best lens based upon that case history. It's A, B, C, or D. It's a multiple choice. There's 16 of those questions. If you achieve an 80% or greater, and you've got 3 shots at taking that, you then become what we call an AccuView multifocal expert. It gives you the ability to download a certificate that you could put in your dispensary if you'd like. Most importantly, though, it gives you what we call a badge. It goes on that Find an Eye Doctor locator, and you're considered an AccuView multifocal expert. Easy assessment if you've downloaded that calculator. It definitely makes it very easy. With the Find the Eye Doctor locator, if you just go in there, if you register, it does give you that ability to, like I said, set yourself apart out there in the market. It looks like that's everything we've got with the questions. What I would do is also just encourage you, if you're coming to the AOA meeting, stop down at our booth, see what we've got going on. We've got a great announcement we're going to make at AOA. New lenses coming from J&J. We try to do that every year, bring new products so that we are always giving you those products that will fit those niches for your patients. So we'll be making a big announcement at AOA on 2 new products that are really going to kind of rock the industry. We're going to set a new bar in regards to comfort and vision. Stop at the booth, get some information. Even if you're not at AOA, believe me, we are going to be letting the country know how we're going to be setting that new bar in regards to comfort and vision. So once again, thank you very much for the attendance. Thanks for giving us your time. I know it's very important. Like I said, it's a weekend, and look forward to hearing from you. Stop at the booth. I'll be there at AOA, and enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the conference. Take care.